How's it going, everyone? Michael from Artistry Works here. Continuing off of my most recent video, Intro to Finance, today we're going to talk about a high-yield savings account, specifically a high-yield online bank savings account. Now, why do I specify online banks and how they're different from your traditional brick-and-mortar banks? The simplest answer there is brick-and-mortar banks have what's called overhead. It's a fancy way of saying they have a lot of bills to pay for. They have to pay the rent for the space that they physically occupy on the street in the building. They have to pay gas bill, water bill, electric bill. Online banks, or those that do not have branches, do not have any of these costs, therefore they can pass the benefits on to the customer. So without going into any more detail, I'm going to show you some of the best online bank savings accounts you can get today. I'm also going to show you some of the worst brick and mortar savings accounts that you probably already have. Now, I realize most of you do not come to a musician's YouTube page to learn about banks, and I fully understand how it's not the sexiest or most important thing that you're going to learn about today. But what is important is that this is a business channel, and money is a huge part of business. So I'm going to start by Google searching a few of the most popular banks that most of us are aware of. Bank of America and Chase are two that come to mind, and I'm going to Google search exactly what their savings account rates are. So the first one I have pulled up here is Bank of America, which has a base APY of 0.01%. So that means for every $10,000 you have in this account, you would get a whopping $1 in interest per year. $10,000 to get $1 in interest. Now, I'm guessing most of you don't have $10,000, so if you had something like $500 in the bank, you would get 5 cents in interest per year. I'm guessing they'll just round up to 1 penny a month. Now let's look over at Chase Saving, and lo and behold, what do we find? The maximum interest rate is also 0.01%. So now I'm going to do a search for the best high yield savings account for 2024 and see what we get. Let's check out Forbes.com and see what they have. They say they compared 73 online savings account, and the range goes from 5.5% with Milli Savings. I've never heard of Milli Savings, by the way. Down to 4.5% with Citizens Access, also a bank that I've never heard of. Not to say there's anything wrong with that, I just haven't heard of them. But assuming there's no minimums and no fees, at 5%, for every $100 you have in the bank, you would get $5 in interest per year. That means you divide 5 by 12 months in the year, because interest is typically paid out monthly. You're going to get about 41 cents in interest per month on $100, which is a hell of a lot more than the 1 cent you're going to get if you had $10,000 invested with Chase or Bank of America. So to me, this is a no-brainer. If all you have to do is relocate your money from one bank to another at the click of a button, why wouldn't you? I was reading a book called I Will Teach You to Be Rich by Ramit Sethi, and he has an entire chapter dedicated to this exact subject. What he specifically points out, so many people feel a sense of loyalty to their bank, which is just silly because you don't have loyalty to your microwave company or any other appliance or something you use. Do you have loyalty to your cable company? I'm guessing you don't. So if all it takes is a few clicks of a button to start having your money that you work hard for, you play all these gigs for, if you could just click a button on your mouse or open up an account on your phone with any bank and get that much more money without having to put in any real work, why wouldn't you? Now I'm going to show you my specific savings account that I use with a bank called Wealthfront. Again, this is an online bank, no branches, I can't walk into any of their stores, but I know all of my money is safe because this is an FDIC insured bank. This just means you have nothing to worry about. If the bank loses all your money, the government will reimburse you. Yay. Your money is safe. That's the bottom line. If a bank is not FDIC insured, I would not put my money there, and I am suggesting that you do not either. So this is a screenshot of my Wealthfront account as it currently stands. You can see the individual cash account, 5.00% APY. There's a little over $4,000 in that currently, and then my investments. We're going to talk about my investments later. By the way, at no point am I trying to brag about the amount of money I have or don't have. I don't think there is a level of money that is worth bragging about. I am merely trying to visually show you that to at least some extent, I know what I'm talking about. This next screen grab just shows how I've put in 50, 60, 30, 40 bucks a week and the interest that I've gotten because of it. You can see I got $15 one month, $14 the month before, $13 before that. So this is compounding. The more money you put in, eventually the interest builds on interest, hence compounding interest. So look, at the end of the day, you can do whatever you want with your money. It's your decision, it's your life. What I do know is that inflation is a very real problem. Your buying power, or what your dollar can afford, will be less as time goes on. You need to be putting in your best effort to get as high of an interest percentage as you can on your money. That doesn't mean you go rate chasing and constantly changing banks. If this bank pays 5%, but this one pays 5.1, or that one pays 5.2, and you're going to open up all these accounts, that's just being silly. You would have to have millions of dollars in the bank to notice even a small difference. So don't do that. What I am strongly suggesting you do is see exactly what your savings rate currently is with your bank. I'm guessing for most of you, it's going to be a minuscule percentage like what I showed earlier. I'm going to leave a link down in the description, like I always do, for my personal bank, Wealthfront. I would never recommend an institution or bank that I don't have or use, and if I did, I would mention it. I will also mention if there is a benefit to me. In this case, there is. If you use my link below, we both get a 0.5% interest boost for 3 months. Now some of you might have more than $100, you might have $1,000, you might have even more than that. I think the best way to grow your money is to know exactly what you have and where it's going. If you take every paycheck you get and immediately spend it towards bills, necessary things, understandable, or going out, drinks, food, unnecessary things, you will be broke forever. Being broke sucks. I've been broke, it's terrible. I would rather be not broke. Being rich would be great, but I'll settle for not broke, at least for now. I'm going to make more videos about investing at a later date. I realize investing is a bit scary and confusing, or just flat out uninteresting for some of you. That's okay. I'm starting with high yield savings account with this video for a reason. There's no risk to putting your money in a savings account. You can put it in, take it out. There will be no tax implications or anything like that. This is a great place to start earning a little bit more money on top of what you're already working for.